G'day Facebook. Hey, back again with the Facebook Live video challenge. I thought last night I talked about McLuhan's tetrad, and so I've been thinking throughout today what would be fun would be to try and throw it out there and consider what I've been doing. I've been at it for 2 weeks now. This is number 14 of my Facebook Live, and so I thought, why not maybe tetrad Facebook Live, and particularly in this way that I'm using it, where I'm trying to open up a discussion around theology and media and the interaction of faith and culture and communication and all those kind of things. So these are my thoughts. Now remember the 4 questions of the tetrad. What does it enhance? What does it retrieve? What does it make obsolete? And what does it reverse into when pushed to its limits? So these are my thoughts. What I'd love is if you had a thought in any one of those 4 areas, throw a comment below and jump in on the conversation as to what you think maybe is the tetrad for Facebook Live video being used like this. So here we go. My idea for what does it enhance, what does it extend or amplify. The couple of thoughts I had, one was it kind of enhances reality TV in a way, because it's no more, this is reality TV at its realest in a way. It's that kind of ability to just capture the fly on the wall, what's going on. So that was one of the things that I thought it enhances. The other thing that I thought it enhances is it does enhance the ability to take your message further. So in the past, to be able to broadcast video was just beyond the finances of most normal people. So, the sort of the ability to get on and spread a message or open up a conversation or those kind of things didn't exist before. So I think that's the 2 kind of things that I put in that. What does it enhance? What does it increase? What does it retrieve? Okay, so my thoughts are it kind of retrieves the soapbox or the sort of corner preacher as well, so it's kind of like anyone can get on and share their message publicly, and anyone can see it, anyone can walk past, as you would, and stumble across that message and engage with it or not. So that's one of the things that I thought it retrieves. It retrieves that kind of soapbox ability to kind of get out there and put a message there. The other thing I thought that was probably a little bit more back in time, but when philosophers would also stand and speak into a public space. So I don't put myself with the great minds of some of the great philosophers that have been around, but a lot of philosophy over the last period is hidden away in books, and so unless you're going to go and read those books, you're not engaged with the philosophical discussion that's been going on. So that's a couple of things that I think it retrieves. What does it make obsolete? Well, I've kind of touched a little bit on a couple of things that I think it makes obsolete already. So one, it makes obsolete the sort of printed or written word. So for instance, I've been doing this instead of writing my blog, so it's kind of obsoleted my blog at the moment, because instead of sitting down and writing, I'm just busy throwing my thoughts out there in a video format. And that's the same for like a denser text. While I don't think it totally gets rid of it, it's that same sort of thing. Our appetite for video is just growing immensely, and so it does certainly obsolete the written sort of blog, at least, and maybe some of the denser written text that we have. And I think as well, in some ways, it can kind of obsolete the gatekeepers. So this is a bit of a more in-depth one, but so before I was talking about, it's difficult for just anybody to get their message out there. It's not just a financial thing that's a problem, but you also have production gatekeepers that would decide what goes to air and what doesn't go to air. So they're making those editorial decisions. Well, with Facebook Live, anyone can broadcast anything. okay? And so the gatekeeper, who would keep those messages from the public because they didn't want those messages to go to the public, the gatekeeper is made obsolete. So that's what does it obsolete. The final one, excuse me, what does it reverse into when it is pushed to its extreme? And in this space, I would suggest that it will reverse into a cacophony of just noise when everybody is a broadcaster who is the viewer. So that's my thoughts there. So if everybody's broadcasting, if everybody's pushing out their message, is anybody actually then got watching? Is anybody taking the time to engage what's putting out there? So push to its extreme, that's where I reckon something like Facebook Live, and particularly in this instance of Facebook Live, where it is a very deliberate, I'm using it very deliberately to put out a message, to try and engage discussion, to try and open up this space for people to interact in. If everybody decides to do their own live broadcasts instead, then we're all live broadcasting and no one's got time to watch anybody else. So there you have it. They're my thoughts. That's me tetrading the Facebook Live functionality as I'm using it. I hope that's useful for you to think about this whole concept of a tetrad and how it might be applied in other areas. I'd love it if you've got some other ideas of any of those things. So remember, what does it enhance or amplify? What does it retrieve? What does it make obsolete? And what does it reverse into when pushed to its extremes? Love to hear your comments below. If you've got something that you'd like me to try and throw a tetrad, my thoughts anyway, of a tetrad over, again, in the comments below. And look, I'd love it if you could tag one other person that you think might find this video useful in any way. That'd be awesome. So thanks for watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Great to have you tuned in. Don't be shy. Write something down below, even if it's just a hi. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, where we'll jump into something completely different. All right, I'll see you then. Ooh. What's going on? I've got all sorts of things coming up on my screen and they won't disappear and I can't hit the finish button.